Hello, everybody, and welcome to the event review for the upcoming event Idle Heroes. This would be the week of April the 5th, 2024. This week is going to be an Imps Adventure week, so pretty typical there. There's none of the occasional throw-ins we see where you get the odd train ticket or whatever. It's just a basic Imps week. This is all very normal as well. But there is a Soul Awakening Gala and a Soul Awakening session, which is obviously going to be the big news for a week. And this is a lot like other ones we've had in the past, but there are two important differences. On the good news side, there's this new 200 point row. So normally when you get to 200 points in the session, you get your stone, which we'll get to in a second. But they've also added in 500,000 stellar shards, or crystals, but take the stellar. That's nice. That's a lovely little bonus that they're adding in, which makes this slightly more appealing than it would otherwise be, and galas are already fairly good. But the downside is the session. In past, we've had one event where just getting your 200 points to get onto this board will get you a B plus stone, and we've had most events that would give you a B stone. This time it only gives B minus. You got to be in the top 1,000 players to do any better than that. And obviously we don't know exactly where the cutoff for the top 1,000 is going to be. I don't think there's been an event where there's been any advantage to fighting for the top 1,000, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably going to be somewhere around the 600 point mark, because it's easy enough to go to 600 and get a bit of Destiny material for the bigger spenders, but we'll have to see how the event goes. So keep an eye on that. Don't push this board unless you know you can do it. I mean, it's not as bad as the A stones are going to be. No, I mean, it is top 100 that you're getting A stones this time. I think that's better than they've done in past. It's usually been the top 50. But still, this board is always dominated by whales for obvious reasons. You can easily spend thousands of dollars to get your triple S stone. Even going for an A stone, you're looking at like lots and lots and lots of investment. Don't do this unless you're an established late game player who's got a lot of contract story gems to throw into this. But yeah, we don't know exactly where the cutoff is going to be, but keep an eye on that. If you're thinking of pushing this board, make sure you've got the resources to do that without, there's nothing worse than pushing the board, winding up 101st or 1001st, and not getting that thing you spent so much trying to get. So don't do it unless you can really do it. Yeah, that's the key part of this week. I mean, it is otherwise a basic gala. You get your, artifact chest, your lemon, your melon or core or whatever. The usual rewards. And this, even for free to play, this can be very good. But for spenders, obviously, go in on this. I mean, 300 awakenings points is like 60 awakenings. By the time you retire your things, you're looking at 4,000 contract star gems for 2.5 top rewards, and 500,000 stellar, and a bunch of other stuff. The melody we'll get to in a second as well. That's nice. I mean, that's definitely worth doing if you've got the resources. And hey, you get 400 contract star gems for almost free this week as well, which is also typical, but also quite nice. Now, the melody is basically the same as the last melody we saw. You don't have the 1,000 point chest because with the Soul Awakening session, they don't tend to do that. But you do still get the basic amounts with the hero copies and a bunch of stellar. It's nice. For a typical person going in, you're not going to get that much by default because unfortunately, the one thing that is different this week, if we set our sights on the Chinese spoilers, you can see you get points for dice, you get points for using the avocados, which are the weekly currency, these guys. But there's no points for awakenings. In past melodies, there's often been awakening giving you points as well, usually 5 points per awakening. That isn't there this time. So that's like 400 base points that you're not getting, depending how far you go in the awakenings, of course. So this melody is going to be less valuable than past ones. And that part sucks. Even if you push this one fairly hard, you're not getting a ton out of it. The weekly package, this time has been broken up into a relay. You add up all these prices, works out to $52 US. It's about 6 to 1. So that's 5 and 2 and 15, 10, 20, 52 in total. And that gets you a ×4 reward here and the Imps reward doubling. You also get 17 train tickets, 10 cores, and a bit of gems, a bit of dice. But the trinkets and the doubler, quadrupler are what you're interested in. But without those awakening points as a baseline, quadrupling it, if you had those 300 points, that'd be 1,200. That'd be 12 of these, 6 of these, 4 of these. that's 22 of these boxes, 330,000 stellar. You're not getting because those awakening points aren't there. So, the melody is not as good as most past melodies, and the session is not as good as most past sessions, unless you're like in the top 100. If you're in the top 100, it's better because that extra A stones. But even the people watching this video, who I'm sure skew towards longer term, higher spending players, most of us aren't going to be in that top 100. I'm certainly not. So, like, the extra stellar there is nice, but this is probably on the lower end of awakening events that we've seen. It's not as good as, certainly not as good as the past one that gave a B plus stone for getting 200 points. Like, all my alts went for that. I pushed pretty hard in all of them because a B plus stone is like half the cost of a full gala. It's huge. This time you're getting a B minus stone, which is 300 contract stars instead of 1800. Not nearly so nice. So yeah, if you go for like the rezone match, you buy out the relay, you do your dice, you do your avocados, the problem is there's not many other ways to push it. Like, are you going to invest in these value packs? They're not good. Like, you're just getting dice, there's nothing else. So you're going to get to maybe a couple thousand points even with the relay. That's not giving you a ton. 200 of these is 300,000, 100 of these is 150,000. Call it 500,000 stellar all in, plus the 500,000 here. I mean, 1,000,000 stellar is not nothing, but I don't love this event. And I'm still probably going to go for it on any alt that's got the contract stars and the hero copies to make a decent shot at it, because, I mean, hey, it is still, a melon and a lemon and an artifact and various nice things. But, yeah. The change around the event, I think overall it's worse than past sessions are. And given how long it's been since we've had a session, that is really unfortunate to see. But it is what it is. Anyway, as for this event, I don't think it's worth spending much on. Like, this is not... Imps Week is good for starting players, because it gives a lot of food. But even then, this Imps Week is not doing that much for you. And I don't think this relay makes sense for most players. 17 train tickets for $50 is all right. 10 cores, like it's not giving you a lot really, and I don't think it makes sense to push this one hard, unless you're like a huge whale who's very new and needs the food. So yeah, if you're gonna spend, definitely spend on the Easter week. It's much better than this. And one note on that, actually, I've seen a lot of advice about how if you're going to spend on Easter, go all in or don't. I don't think that's actually fair. There are some fairly reasonable stopping points short of that. So, yeah, consider spending on Easter. I would not spend on this upcoming event. There isn't much here. Do the Awakenings, I think, for most people. But that'd be about it. Anyway, yeah, that's about all I've got to say for this week. So, thank you very much, and I will talk to you again next week for the next week's event review. Bye.